Hey guys, so I've been playing a lot of Bloodborne over the past year and a half. It's pretty much my favorite Souls game right now. Even, I've enjoyed it even more than Dark Souls. And that's saying a lot. I put, thousands of hours into Dark Souls, but Bloodborne is definitely my favorite Souls-like game right now, definitely by far. And there's something that I thought about a few months ago, which came back to me recently because I've been doing a few lore videos, and basically I'll give you a bit of history anyway before I get into it. So first of all, you have to understand that when it comes to lore hunting, Miyazaki and his team never designed Demon Souls to, be the kind of game where players actively hunt for lore. Now, it was always to a certain extent meant to be mysterious, where the players, try and create their own story as they play. That was always part of it. But this active searching for lore and trying to figure out what happened based on item descriptions and whatnot was never really a big part of Demon Souls. The game was mostly about the atmosphere, what you can learn from the environment, and obviously the whole risk and reward gameplay, which the Soul series is famous for. But it was never meant to be about the lore hunting. But when the game came out, it turned out that the players were interested in that. Over time, slowly, players, including myself, and a lot of famous people like Marcus, Epic Name Bro, and others, really went deeply into the lore and became quite famous for it as well. We all know these guys now. But it was never meant to be about that. But From Software did take notice of this. And when Dark Souls was being built, they actually designed it with lore hunting in mind. So a lot of the item descriptions for weapons, different items, whatnot, became a much more important aspect of the story. If you compare the number of item descriptions and the information that's actually contained in the text in Demon Souls and Dark Souls, Demon Souls has a much more plain and descriptive, nature. The item descriptions do. So this sword does this X, Y, and Z. Whereas in almost every single item in Dark Souls, you can read a bit of backstory with each item. Each and every item reveals something about the world, and that was obviously intentional because they wanted the players to actually get involved in finding, trying to find the lore because it was such a big thing in the community, even at that point. And obviously, that's continued with the rest of the Soul series. And what's happened is that over time, lore hunting has become this really interesting cerebral meta game, or if you want to call it emergent gameplay, where players just, base entire there's an entire cottage industry based around lore hunting. I already mentioned ENB. You've got other people like Vati Vidya, Redgrave, lots of famous people, who are very popular YouTubers now that, in fact, make a career, money and a career out of this, and that's fantastic. I don't make any money out of it, in case you're wondering, but I just, right now I do it just for the fun of it. But that, that's besides the point anyway. The point is that this is something that's, become attached and part of the Soul series, and is really like, it's what the community is known for. I think a lot of people will admit that most other games don't have this kind of lore hunting community, and obviously that's because of the nature of the Souls games. Now, when it comes to Bloodborne, there's something interesting that we should really, take into account. If you really think about the story and some of the characters, at the beginning, you got people like Master Willem, who was the, obviously the lead professor at Bergenworth, which was described in the game as an old school of learning. It was a college, a place for people to learn originally about history and archaeology, but over the course of the years and finding the old blood, that all changed. We know that. And the students at the school, Lawrence and the others, are pretty much in the same vein. People who are looking to understand the world. They're scientists. Then, if you also look at the Healing Church, it's got its clerics, the choir, Mensis, Archibald. All of these people, despite what else you might think of them, are scientists and scholars. They're all seeking knowledge. And, there's a theme going here, about people trying to learn and understand about the world. And with the DLC, I think that theme gets, expanded upon quite a lot. When you first meet Simon the Herald, he asks you if you have an interest in nightmares. He talks about curiosity and whether or not the hunter, your character, has the spirit of Bergenworth. What's that spirit? About trying to learn, about to understand the world in any way you can. And even Maria, right before she attacks you, talks about how secrets beckon. Again, she's talking about curiosity, about trying to learn about things we don't understand. The overall tone, the overall tone is basically, for me at least, talks about how the thirst for knowledge without restraint can be dangerous, and how overthinking things, and this is really the most important part for me in this video, how overthinking things can be really dangerous, and in the case of the characters in Bloodborne, lead to terrible consequences, or it just drives them mad. Because, sometimes there are no answers, or the answers are so inscrutable, it just drives you mad just trying to go around in circles all the time. Now, my point with this video is that, from a gameplay aspect, I think that Miyazaki is playing a trick on all of us lore hunters. Bloodborne, more than any other game, I think, is a parody of the lore hunting activities, what we do. It's not, obviously there is a lot of lore hunting in there, and, the whole item descriptions again, the way the world, the characters, the way they talk, the lack of information you get is all set up for lore hunting. But I think what Miyazaki is basically doing is playing a trick on us by basically, trying to say, this is you guys. You guys are slowly going mad because you're overthinking things. And, if you go back to Dark Souls, the pendant item was basically a trick because it didn't do anything. And Miyazaki, said in an interview once, if I was going to pick any item, it would be the pendant. And obviously at that point he was trolling us. And I think the way I see it now, having played this game for so long and invested so much time and effort in trying to understand the lore and talk to people about it, I think that he's playing the whole setup of the story is in part, not completely, but is in part another exercise in trolling the community, where he's basically, I think, in the back of his mind having a laugh at our expense. It really gives me pause to think about what I'm doing. Why am I spending so many hours trying to figure this out in this game? Does it really matter who created the doll? I mean, obviously it does to me. It's all very subjective, and we're all doing this for fun. But it really, when I thought about this and I realized what was happening, I really had to chuckle about it. Will it stop me from lore hunting in this game and the next? No way. But it's fun to think about. Alright guys, that's all I really want to talk about today. As usual, if you want to talk about this, and I think this is an interesting point of discussion, just leave a comment, or if you like the video, leave a like, and subscribe if you feel like it as well. There'll be plenty of more lore videos, don't worry about that. Okay, cheers, bye.